Yo ho ho, my global thespians. Welcome back to the Kevin E. Yep, we got juice. Well, it's not really juice. It's kind of like juice, only different. Welcome in the channel, the content, Q-tips. I am Kevin E. West. Yes, golf shirt on, but not playing golf today. Just felt like wearing a golf shirt. Of course, longtime veteran television actor. You can go check me out on IMDb. Please do if you want. And president and founder of the Actors Network, which was an award-winning business organization that was around for nearly 24 years in the Los Angeles area in a couple different locations that spawned dozens and dozens and dozens of working actors up to even star-level people that you would be aware of, such as Chelsea Chris from Fresh Off the Boat or Maggie Grace from Taken and many others. I have to get that to not shine off the thing. So today's content is we're now on to number 3 of the second 4. We're on the second 4, and this is the third one. And this I like to call communication. Now, I just did language, right? I just did that. This is not the same thing. Language are the specificity of the words that you use. That's how I mean it in this scenario. Communication has a lot more to do with putting those words together. And a lot of times for me as actors, not what we actually say, but the questions that we ask. There's a lot of communication that I got myself in trouble not intending to do early in my career, just simply because I didn't know. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to ask. And it's, ugh. And I'm a big advocate, you guys, of the fact that silence is not a form of communication. It's one of my mantras in life. So with that said, understand that the place I'm coming from, number one is, yes, I know you know how to talk and speak English. I got it. But when it comes to actor communication in our careers, with the folks we're going after, working with, engaged with, communication requires an immense amount of clarity, an immense amount of specificity. And I am a guy, I haven't done this yet in the video, but right down here is a little set of books. They're right over here. And one of them says the 4 agreements. And one of the agreements, if you know the book, you know this. If you don't, cool, go get the book, it's great. One of the 4 agreements is don't assume. Now, a lot of you may know the joke of what, assume means, makes an ass out of you and me, ha, 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 ha. That's not so much my concern as an actor when it comes to communication and assumptions. We are an emotional group. I'm a Pisces. Hello. We're an emotional group. And most of the time, until you make it up into a certain amount of rarefied air in your career, we're always at the behest of somebody else. We're always concerned, am I doing this enough? Am I doing that enough? Did I get good feedback on my audition? Am I enough? Am I good at all that? So I'm not saying that every single actor is constantly running through a degree of insecurity, but there is a degree that we are challenged with of question mark. Because we don't know if somebody got a submission. We don't know now in self-tape land if they even watched what I sent in. There's a lot of unknown. And unknown is hard for us. So when it comes to communication, one of the best things you can do for yourself is don't make assumptions. And a really good, simple example of this, I'm just going to give you the second thing I'm going to say to you is, a really simple example of this is pretend you have a meeting coming up with an agent or manager. Just an example of something I've seen for decades in our community is we'll literally go into the meeting. We don't necessarily have the proper questions set up, but when we leave the meeting and somebody says, for example, well, I've got to go over this with my other agents or the other managers or the team or whatever they say, and we'll get back to you, blah, cool, thanks for coming in. And we tend to just be like, okay. And we don't ask a simple question of communication, which is about how long should I expect it to be in business days before I hear from you. And I may have just struck panic in a lot of you. They're like, oh my God, I couldn't ask that. Then they'll think I'm a jerk. I'm like, no, that's just standard operating procedure in any profession. And I'm sharing with you, this is where we have to make sure we don't make this profession different than others. Asking somebody who you are going to professionally wait to get back to you, when they might, in what time frame get back to you, is completely acceptable. That is 100% acceptable. I mean, I've always said it for many, many years. We tend to mean what we say. We just don't tend to say what we mean. So I am a huge advocate, whether you're communicating via email, text, talking in person, on Zoom, or in some form of on the phone. I don't care. We need to ask more questions. We need to make sure that we are clear what they expect, what they want, what we need, or what we're trying to accomplish. I say to people all the time, when it comes to being an actor and it comes to talking to people on the other side of the camera, which is everybody I've covered so far to this point, you want to do two things. You want to inform and disarm. And here's the irony. The better you are at language and the better you are at communication, the form of you informing them will automatically disarm them. It will make them much more comfortable in chatting with you. And this sounds like it's complex. I'm telling you, it's not. It's so simple just to be able to say to somebody that when you're talking to a producer, you know, I understand how the casting process works. I was just on the lot shooting today and I wanted to drop by and leave this for so-and-so, as if you were dropping something off at someone's office. The second that you tell them up front that you understand how the process works, boom, you immediately disarm any concern for obstacles and objections they would have. These are simple things, but they're massively undernoted in our profession, yet they're completely noted in other professions. Okay, I want to make sure that we do one more, is this. This is why this comes up to this point. Communication comes just as it does in your relationship with your siblings or your parents, or an intimate relationship you have, is in understanding the other person. This is why this comes after, in the second four, all the ones that I've discussed. The more you understand the mind of a casting director, the mind of what an agent goes through, the mind of what a manager does, the mind of what a television director deals with versus what a film producer deals with, the more you understand that, then your communication becomes much easier for that particular audience or individual. And so always understand, oh no, holy smokes, that's okay. Trust me, it's like a guitarist with a pick. I got spare pencils nearby because I can't do this without a pencil. It's like winding up and I'm ready to go when there's a pencil in my ear. So understanding that is one of the huge, most important things we have, is that never forget who your audience is, because understanding their mind is going to drive your communication. There are going to be things you would say, you wouldn't say to that person. There's going to be stuff you'd say to this person, then you're not going to say right now. This comes at social gatherings, at parties, at events. These things all come into play. And one of the biggest complaints that I heard for nearly 24 years as the founder of the Actors Network about actors going out into the marketplace and engaging the others, people on the other side of the desk, all of them, was, I don't know what to say. That's why communication is so important, okay? When you actually, great communication in show business comes from the fact that you've considered their area of expertise by their position. Let me say it again. Great communication in show business comes from the fact that you've researched and considered their area of expertise based on their position. Okay? And yes, I'm going to do a lot more on communication down the road. That's just a little snippet of what we got coming. But man, is it important. Trust me, on the sunscreen, my global people. And it's the same in Melbourne, London, or Paris, Texas. I have no idea why I picked that. I was going to say Paris, and I said Paris, Texas. Okay, go to kevinewest.com, look at the blog and my book, subscribe, like, tell friends, holla, go to Instagram, follow me at @KevinE. We are golden. I'm probably not going to be in a golf shirt next time. Thanks for listening, you all. Really appreciate you being here. Come on back real soon.